Hi everybody, Dacob here. Welcome to the Fashion Bunker. Today is perfume review day, and it's a particular review because it comes as kind of from different sides onto me. So first of all, a big thank you to my biggest subscriber and fan out there, which is my mom. I love you, Mom, so much. Thank you so much for this present. So my mom is watching all the time, you guys, and she's reading all the comments, so don't be too nasty because she sees them all. She's the ever-seeing eye. So thank you so much for this CUIR de Russie perfume, eau de toilette form, 200 milliliter spray. So it's important to me because my mom gave it to me, A. B, important because the history behind this perfume is very, very special. It's a daring perfume. It's a perfume that, you know, lets us dream and envision a society where there is more freedom, where a perfume can be used to provoke thought and to provoke a sort of rebellion towards freedom. CUIR de Russie means Russian leather. I am dressed in leather. I guess I'm inspired by leather this week. This looks kind of naughty to some of you perhaps. Sure, why not? The puns are all intended today in this review. Leather is kind of the theme of next week, I guess. I don't know. Let's see how much leather I managed to put into all my videos. I will unbox this one. For those of you who don't know yet, I did do a review, or I did make a review on CUIR de Russie over a year ago, and it was for basically the pure perfume, which I have here for comparison purposes. Now, this one, I don't quite know how it smells yet because it is, you know, some reformulation. We don't know exactly from what year, but I will check the code at the bottom. Super exciting to open up these 200 mLs, and that's how much I love this perfume that I really go for the 200 milliliter version. Just before, I don't know. You never know with perfumes. Oh, isn't it gorgeous? You never know with perfumes what's going to happen, if they're going to reformulate again or whatever. You know, Jacques Polge is now not the head perfumer anymore, so who knows what his son Olivier might come up with in the future. However, this perfume was not made by Jacques Polge. This perfume was made by Ernest Beau back in 1926, I think. No, earlier? 1924, between 1924 and 1926, and it was made back then to resemble kind of this era of freedom. Women would start smoking. They were free to smoke and wouldn't be considered hookers because they were smoking. The Russian aristocracy was running away from Russia, moving to France, and Chanel, as other couture maisons, was profiting from that and was creating kind of designs by them. But she also got inspired by Russian designs and Slavic designs and would implement them in her own fashions as well. Let's put this one on immediately. Out of the stopper, it already smells, so that's cool. Very intense. The liquid is very light. It will turn darker with time. However, it's already darkish. Let's go. Yeah, it's Russian leather. Oh, it brings back fond memories. This one is incredible. I'm so happy. Oh, the bottle. I'm high right now. Oh my God, it's so amazing. I have been asked what is my favorite Les Exclusives perfume. I change my mind all the time because, you know, it depends on the period of year you're using them. But after all is said and done, I always go back to CUIR de Russie. Always. I always go back to CUIR de Russie. Always. Number 18 and Jersey, like Jersey in pure perfume form and number 18 in the eau de toilette form are the ones I might kind of go to, but as of late. But this one was there before the Les Exclusives, you know, before these new bottles. This one, I used to use this one way before Jacques Polge created the new line. So this is my true Les Exclusives love, and number one goes to CUIR de Russie. It's incredible. It literally dries my throat out. The leather note in there is so deep, and the vanilla in there. So let's get to the notes. So we got top notes: lemon, bergamot, clary sage. You know I love my sage. Mandarin orange and orange blossom. Middle notes: ylang ylang, vetiver, jasmine, iris, carnation, rose, cedar. Base notes: birch, heliotrope, vanilla, amber, leather, musk, and tobacco. As Blanche Devereaux from the Golden Girls would say, tobacco. That tobacco is really intense, and it's so smoky. It's so majestic. Let me put this box somewhere so it doesn't disturb us. You can watch the video for my first CUIR de Russie review, and then come back here if you wish. Otherwise, you could just watch this one, and then we could see what happens in the future if you want to watch the other one after this one. I think this is kind of unprecedented. I don't know if anybody has done this before, but to re-review a perfume, I haven't seen anybody re-reviewing a perfume. Well, here you have it, first time around. So all my thoughts from the other video, forget them. Let's start over anew, because the inspiration of today is totally different. I am a year older. I have gone through other things in my life. I have other experiences. I have grown, hopefully grown for the better. And I have more thoughts on, I think, more sensitivity, you know, because the older you get, the more you, the more capable I think you become to fine-tune certain emotions and thoughts. So, and whatever inspires you in the poetry and things becomes definitely more subtle, maybe. This still catapults me back in time. It still gives me an incredible 20s vibe. Not as much as number 22 would, but it gives me a space in Europe where we are in spring, and it's a humid spring. There's a lot of rain, and all of those century-old stones that are used to build up the majestic and colossal cities adorning Europe, all those stones that are kind of like that have been drenched and filled up with water because of the rains in April mostly and in May, give out a certain scent. It's a scent of history. Slightly humid. It's not a disgusting humid scent. It's like a scent of something that has been there for centuries and centuries, and from time to time gives you a whiff of its past. We're sitting in a cafe, and yes, it's in Paris. It has to be. There's no other city but Paris for this perfume, to envision the past. And we are surrounded by highly intellectual academics, artists, authors, writers, poets, painters, you name it, they're all there. As it used to be back in the day, in these artist cafes when they would all meet together and talk and discuss poetry and the beautiful things in life. Also politics. There's politics in here as well. We are in this cafe, and there is a fight going on between a couple of these people because, you know, because of elections, because of the situation in Europe. We are between two world wars right now. We're still living in a kind of an opulent period, but there's that smell of future troubles to come. There's some sort of vision that only the most intellectual and intelligent of people, and that are also automatically more susceptible to changes within society, only they feel that there will be something massive coming over Europe and over the world pretty soon. In fact, a bit over a decade after this perfume was launched, the Second World War begins, and Chanel escapes to Switzerland in exile. And the production of her perfume house, however, keeps working and keeps going. I love sage, and I just want to smell it in here, and I do smell it in here because I know it's in here. However, what is predominantly present is the vanilla mixed with the leather and the tobacco. The iris adds the dust, the fairy dust, and adds that whiff of beautiful powder that kind of suffocates you as you're inhaling this beautiful, rich, golden juice. It's dry at the same time. It fills you up, but it suffocates you. But it's so sexual in a way that you want more. You want that suffocation. It does bring you to a point where that leather that you could wear outside on your body as a shell, you're feeling it inside of yourself as well. And it's warm. It feels safe. Now we're going to touch a point that is kind of particular. I'm not going to go too sexual in a too sexual a direction because we want to keep this kind of, I don't know, people friendly. But let's get technical here. A very important note to say about SM in general. The pain that one of the two partners would inflict upon the other is not as crazy as you think. The pain and the pleasure have a border that is very, very thin. And in an SM sort of relationship, the sadomaso kind of relationship, we got a sadist and we got a masochist. Now, the person that decides to let go of all control and give it to their partner can and will only do it knowing that that partner will never really hurt them. So the pain becomes pleasurable because you trust your partner, and your partner knows exactly where the limit is, where that borderline is, how far he or she can go with you, with your psychological patterns, with your physical needs, everything. So it becomes a very, very intense sexuality where you're constantly tickling those borders and those frontiers, but you never cross them. You never inflict damaging pain. Now, granted, you could, but that's a totally different story, and I'm not going into that direction. I'm sticking with a healthier version of SM, let's just put it that way. And also a version of SM that is connected and united with immense and incredible amounts of trust. Total trust in your partner. And there cannot be pleasure without that full trust. And there cannot be that border between pain and pleasure without that pure and complete trust. Russian leather, in its eau de toilette form, is slightly more vulgar, of course, than the CUIR de Russie pure perfume form. Nevertheless, I mean, for Chanel standards, of course, the pure perfume is the essence. However, it is an extremely noble and elegant perfume, and it's the type of perfume that can either go sadist or masochist on you. It's a type of perfume that needs you to decide where you stand. You need to take your position. You need to make a stand. You need to take your, you need to feel and be honest with yourself. What do you expect from this perfume? Do you want it to dominate you, or do you want to dominate it? I am still honestly looking for the answer because I have a tendency of, in my personal life to go both ways. I can be extremely dominant and I could be extremely passive. It all depends on the mood, on the psychological kind of situation you find yourself in. And with perfumes, it's the same. There are days where I am in total control of CUIR de Russie, and other days where CUIR de Russie is in total control of me. It is in control of me only because I let it control me. And so, again, the psychological pattern reflects itself. You see, no matter how you put it, the sadist becomes the masochist, and the masochist becomes the sadist. It's two sides of the same metal. And That's what we have to realize and understand also in perfumery. This is also one of the big reasons why I say that there is no such thing as gender in perfumes. They transcend gender. They go beyond gender. They go into a real meta territory that is incredibly rich and dense of so much more, of so many meanings that you can't even perceive or begin to understand if you pwn yourself the limitation of gender. Because if you do pwn yourself the limitation of gender, you will never transcend that wall. You will never climb up that wall and go on to the other side and figure out what really is important to know and what really is important to feel when it comes to perfumes in particular, and also people. So we're back in this cafe in Paris, and there's some fight going on at a table next to my table. I stand up and I walk to the table, and first I observe. I try not to interrupt these people. I still don't know how potentially dangerous they might be. And turns out they're two brothers having a fight. Not very clear if the fight was political, if it was for some person they were fighting over something, I don't know, maybe some money. Not very clear what the fight was about. And then as I look at them better, I kind of have a difficulty to distinguish them. They almost look like twins, but they're not twins. But they look very similar. They kind of mimic each other's movements even. And yet one of them stands out more than the other today. Tomorrow we never know. And I look at him and I kind of stop talking. No need for words anymore. And it's like that eye connection with full abandonment of all the walls that you build up during your life, trying to protect yourself, not let anybody come too close, not let anybody harm you or hurt you. All of a sudden it clicks and it makes no sense anymore to have a wall. And the wall just crumbles. And once it crumbles, you're completely naked. Emotionally, not physically, obviously. And once you're completely naked, you, if it's done in the right way, forget about all the complexes you've ever had. You forget about all of the fears you ever had. And all that's left is pleasure. And you're completely out there on the limb in front of all those other people in this cafe that are looking at you. And you just fade out each and every single one of them, one by one. And all that is left are the four eyes looking at each other. And that's what Russian leather is. And I also believe that if you let the boundaries fall, only then can you truly fall deeper into love as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this review. I hope you liked it. I hope you enjoyed Russian leather today with me. And if you have, please do thumb up this video. Let me know what you think about it. If you do have Russian leather, or if you would like to try it out. The batch code is 5601. 5601. Don't forget, guys, to subscribe to my channel here on YouTube. I'm also on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. No matter what you choose or what your soul tells you to do. To be the passive or to be the active, to be aggressive or to be weak. I always say these are all extremes of a line that is a circle and it just attaches on one side. So it's all the same. You just have to find the right nuance that suits you. once you found that nuance, you never give up on love. So, love you guys. See you soon. Bye.